Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another devlog of House of a Thousand Hallways. And you know why this light is so bright? Well, it kind of has a story. So basically, I didn't want the light to be that bright. I want the light to be just a little bit brighter so you can actually see when you're in the dark. Let's say you're walking down here, you can see a little bit of this screen. And it was working quite good. Except when I started to make the initial level where you teleport to once you start your game with your friends. So, welcome to that level. A rather large outside area where you can see the House of a Thousand Hallways in all its glory, and the portal where you come in, and the portal that will be opening once you finish the game. But as you can see, the map uses skylight, it uses directional light, it uses skybox, it uses all these lighting systems. And because of the post-processing, because I don't want it to be too bright, and I don't want there to be a super bright underground as well, because the underground's in the same level as this, and I'll explain to you why. The game is very, very dark, and you need a very strong light to make any impact on this. So I'm now going to use the same light that I used in the previous episode. So I'm now going to use the same light that I used in the indoor level that you just saw. So let's get this light open. And as you can see, it barely makes a scratch. And that's because the light is in the character. But this map has very different lighting settings because of the outside area. Because I want this to be this scary, open-looking outside area that shows the House of a Thousand Hallways. But now we have the problem where light is extremely bright in the lobby level. Now once we're inside the level, you can see that the light is still kind of weird because we're using... I walked into the trap. We're using, the same lighting settings because the indoor level is actually under the main level. This also causes weird artifacts where you can see the skylight coming through the ceiling because there's like very small, minuscule gaps. And anyway, all this to say that even though I really like the top level, so even though I really do enjoy this view and this level, I'm going to remove it from the game because it causes so much more headache than what it's worth. So this cool level with the moon and the skybox and all the floating rocks and all that stuff, that will not be in the game anymore. We will just keep this out, and we are just going to make indoor levels that have controlled lighting that will make sure the game runs more smoothly. They will make sure that we don't have weird artifacts and super bright torches to be able to see anything, and because of the post-processing and the lighting settings of this map. Is it possible to have different lighting? Look, there's the level, by the way, under. I'll show you guys in a minute, but is it possible to have the lighting here different than the lighting there? And yes, that is possible, but it causes such a headache, and especially with the post-processing, it's easy to do because you can just make a different post-processing box for down there. But you still have the skylight, you still have the atmospheric fog that's set for the outside map, and everything is about the outside map, even though most of the time you're actually playing inside of the map. So that's the reason I'm doing it. I don't like doing it because I really do enjoy this like cool like view, like you spawn here and it's like, wow, like this is the House of a Thousand Hallways. Now it makes sense. It's that big a deal that I'm even not even sure if I should keep the name House of a Thousand Hallways because this was such a big deal of it. So if you guys actually, let me know what you guys think of the name. It's still a work in progress. Obviously, we can still change it. It's a long name. That's the big downside as well. But we're working on it. So yeah. So this is the one of the maps. So I'm just gonna be super transparent with you guys because I feel like that's what makes devlogs interesting here. So basically, what would happen is the moment you start your game, you will spawn up here, and then you will move into this door, and you'll go down here. Now we can erase this whole area here and just focus on the interior. So you would spawn in here, and then the moment you spawn, so the moment the host spawns, which is a very important distinction because it's multiplayer, uh, a key will spawn. So a key can, I'm not going to tell you exactly where it spawns, but it can spawn like basically in all the outer reaches of the map. And it chooses a random spawn, and then also it chooses a random spawn for enemies, and it chooses random spawns for traps and for doors that can be open and closed with pressure plates. And then once you find the key, you bring it back, and then you have to do it 2 more times, so 3 times in total, and then you will win the game with your team. But of course, every time you start the game, you'll be in a different level. So this is one level. There's going to be about 9 in total. They're not going to be randomly generated. I'm going to make them all by hand, which I think is the cool part of it. The downside of that is, of course, that once you've played all 9 levels, you kind of know it. But then again, you have random keys, you have random enemies, and I can always add more levels in the future if that's a concern. I can always add more levels. But yeah, so it doesn't look all too big. This is also not one of the, like, obviously some maps are going to be bigger than others, but then again, if you're actually in it, it might actually feel a lot bigger than it is. There are some lighting issues, of course. Not all the lighting has been made, and the levels are not done yet. But there are definitely a lot of different ways to work in this level, especially with enemies spawning after a certain amount of time. That could be really interesting. So yeah, that's basically the update I want to give you guys. I'm going to work on the first enemy, which is going to be a banshee. But I won't spoil too much. I won't spoil the enemies. I won't spoil too many things. I do want to emphasize that the enemies are going to be enemies that can kill you in one go. So there's not like, I mean, some might not, but most will. And it's also like, when you see them run kind of thing and escape, and the enemy will eventually leave you be and teleport somewhere else, and then it kind of scares someone else. So yeah, that's basically it. I mean, it's gonna be pretty interesting game, pretty simple game. Run into the teleporter, run into the castle, find the key, and then make your way out of the castle with the teleporter that will open once you find the key. But with items and consumables and enemies, it's probably going to be a lot of fun to do. So we'll see how that goes. Hope you guys enjoyed these devlogs. I want to make more of them, and I want to work on this project more. But I'm also making tutorials for the channel, and with time, with my actual work as well, which is completely different than this. And then we have, of course, thinking of making tutorials and all this stuff. So I don't always have time to do this, but I really hope you guys do enjoy this kind of content, and let me know in the comments, please, whatever your thoughts are about the game, about the name, about these kind of content and this kind of stuff. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.